Hey guys, what's going on? Shadow of Nexus back here with another review, and this time we're going to take a look at Switch 2 Welcome Tour. Very interesting game. I decided to go ahead and review this. It's been a long time since I've done a review, but yeah, let's get right into it guys. Very excited for this one here. So what is Switch 2 Welcome Tour? Switch 2 Welcome Tour is basically like a virtual guide that you can go and see what happens with the Switch 2, how everything is manufactured, how to use the Switch 2, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you can see that the game begins here, that we basically have to choose our appearance. There's a bunch of different appearances that you can choose from right over here, and it's actually pretty cool. You know, you have a lot of different types and stuff like that that you can choose. You know, you can choose male, female, you know, you can choose like someone who's, you know, different color or whatever, like, so, you know, it's very diverse, very cool. So right off the bat, I have to give Nintendo some props. You know, you can choose your avatar, and you know, they have a lot of different selections and types and stuff like that, and it's great. And then after you pick your avatar here, you can go ahead and talk to these people, and they will tell you to come into the Switch 2 Welcome Tour. So as you guys can see right over here, this is basically a huge Nintendo Switch 2, and they will make you explore all the areas and stuff like that, and it's very interesting. A lot of like philosophy and design and stuff like that was definitely put into this. You can definitely learn a lot about the Switch 2. And here's the thing guys, like honestly, I was surprised with the amount of stuff that I could learn. Like for example, you can just stand the Joy-Cons, the Joy-Con stand, you can go ahead and you can put that down and it just stands on its own. So we definitely have some very interesting things here. Like another example as well, the buttons, the ZL and the ZR buttons, they're made of steel on the Joy-Con. So the steel, it basically attracts the magnet. So it's just little things like that, and it's just really interesting. So yeah, the main objective of this game is basically to explore the Nintendo Switch 2, learn about the parts and the functions and stuff like that. So it is very interesting guys. If you guys are a huge fan of Nintendo, or if you guys are a huge fan of, you know, how hardware works and stuff like that, technical, you'll definitely enjoy this one here. So yeah, the first area here, you'll be exploring the Joy-Con. There's a lot of other things that you're going to be exploring as well. It's not only the Joy-Con, there's a lot of different things that you can explore in this. You can explore the actual system. There's like multiple areas and stuff like that you can go and visit. You can talk to all these NPCs here. There's so much stuff to learn in this game here. There's a lot of mini games. So I mean, I have to say guys that this has to be one of the titles that I would recommend for the Switch 2. It's fantastic. Like there is so much stuff to see and do and look around, and you know, I won't show some of the later areas just because of spoilers and stuff like that, because I really do want people to play this game and to take the quizzes and to learn about the actual system, because there's a lot of things here that are very cool guys. Like there's old Nintendo references, for example, like they have stuff like the Game Boy camera. They talk about like the Virtual Boy, the Wii U, the Wii, the GameCube, the NES, the Famicom. They talk about Nintendo consoles even before the NES, like those game. I forget exactly what they're called. I think they're called like the 3 game in 1 or whatever, the 7 game in 1. They had like a bunch of different consoles even before the NES, like, you know, but yeah, there's so much stuff to learn, guys. It's awesome. And as you guys can see on the top left corner there, it will tell you how many stamps you need to find. And then once you go ahead and you find those stamps, they'll basically be able to bring you to the next area, which I think is awesome progression. It really just makes you look at the item that you're on right now. Like, let's say, for example, you're on the Joy-Con 2 right now, and it just really forces you to stay on this area here. And this is what I really like about this, because see, this is how learning is supposed to work, right? If you want to learn something, you should be trying to force yourself until you can basically figure out how this thing works, right? So this is what I like about this game. It doesn't really let you go to the other areas and stuff like that, which I know some people might view as somewhat of a downside. But yeah, we have so many different things to do just on this one area alone, and there's multiple areas in this game, guys. We have other, we have the screen, we have the other Joy-Cons, we have some of the accessories as well. There's so much stuff to learn in this game, guys. Like, honestly, I would recommend this to any Nintendo fan. The quizzes are fantastic. You learn so much about the information here. And it truly does give you genuine information about the system and things that a lot of people who would not be playing this game would probably not know unless they are watching something that is telling you how the system works, right? So instead of watching that, you can go ahead and you can play this game. It's only $10, which I think is a very, very fair price here. Should it have been free? There is a conversation about that. I think that it would have been great if it was free, but unfortunately it is not free. But $10 is a very, very low asking price, and I just think for $10, the amount of information that you get in this game is fantastic. But yeah, guys, I mean, there's also a few other things about this game as well, so let's go ahead and talk about some of the mini games. So basically, once you're done going ahead and talking to all the NPCs and stuff like that, hearing their dialogue, there's some very interesting dialogue as well that will help you find some of the stamps. So I would definitely recommend talking to the NPCs. It gives you some very insightful information about where some of the stamps are and some stuff about the system that will really help you on some of the quizzes. So I have to say, guys, like, you should definitely be talking to the NPCs. But yeah, once you go ahead and do that, you can go ahead and you can try out some of the mini games. So this is one of the mini games here, basically using the Joy-Con as a mouse, which, I mean, actually works okay if you're using the grip. If you don't use the grip, I would say it doesn't really work very well. Definitely use the grip, the Joy-Con grip, if you are trying to use the mouse controls. But yeah, I thought that the mouse controls are fine, and as a PC gamer, I gotta say, like, they are perfectly serviceable. I wouldn't say that they're amazing or anything like that. Nothing like, using like an actual mouse, just because, there is the analog stick is in the way. And I think that that's kind of somewhat of an issue, but actually, me just going around and trying out the mouse, it feels okay, for sure. So yeah, this game right over here, you're basically dodging the spike balls, as you guys can see here. Very cool, arcade-like game here. It is really tough, actually. For me, my first time playing this game here, as you guys can see, I didn't really do amazing, but again, definitely getting used to the mouse controls here. I think for this one here, I didn't even use the Joy-Con grip, so that's why my time was not really amazing here. And please excuse all the notifications here that says like downloaded software. This was basically my first time playing the Switch too, so that's why it's all up there. So yeah, I apologize for that, but when we are looking at this game here, like this actual mini game, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, hey, if you want to go ahead, dodge these spike balls and stuff like that, it becomes very tough, as you guys can see, but hey, it's pretty cool. And there's also some other demos as well that you can go ahead and play. So yeah, let's get into those ones. There's also another mini game here too, where you're basically trying to find the strongest rumble along a line, and I thought this was pretty interesting. Kind of just shows off, the new haptics and stuff like that that are in the Joy-Con 2 controller, and I thought that this one was pretty cool here. I think it's kind of, not really the most interesting thing here, but you definitely kind of get some hype, when you get close to where the rumble is. So I think this one here is not going to be, my most played minigame here, but I mean, it was a solid minigame, and there's also some other minigames as well, of course. But when it comes to these two here, these are the two that I played, like, the absolute most here. Because, I was more engaged in finding the stamps and looking at the areas and doing the quizzes and learning about that kind of stuff. So I didn't really play too many mini games here and there. I know that there's some more as well. There's like a Mario Bros. One as well, where if you have a 4K TV, you can go ahead and play that one. Unfortunately, I didn't have a 4K TV, so I didn't get a chance to test that one out. And there's a demo where you can try out HDR. And there is honestly a huge difference with HDR. You can see that the colors pop much more. So HDR is definitely a defining feature of this console, and it is fantastic to look at other games and stuff like that. And especially in this demo, you can definitely see the difference. It's a huge difference. About some downsides here. One of the biggest downsides about this game here was that a lot of the mini games here use the mouse controls. Now, having the mouse controls is not a horrible thing or anything like that, but when too many mini games are using the same method of control, it's kind of a little annoying. I would like to see it switched up a bit. Also, another downside as well is if you guys do not have a 4K TV or an HDR compatible TV or 120 Hz compatible TV or some of the accessories, you guys will not be able to play some of the mini games. So if the mini games are the biggest thing for you, you'll have to go out and buy those accessories, buy that TV as well. So yeah, that's another downside. But if you guys are like me, just want to explore around, you really should be completely fine. There's a lot of really interesting things in this game, guys. You even get to see the inside of the components as well, which is just awesome. But yeah, there's also a bunch of other areas as well. You guys can see here is the right area Joy-Con. I'll also show off. There's also some accessories here too. You have the Joy-Con grip, and just get to learn so much stuff about this, guys. I was not quite as interested in some of the mini games here, but I was definitely more interested in learning about the actual console. If you guys are like me, I think this game is an absolute must-have for the system. I think that it's one of the best games on the system so far, besides like let's say Mario Kart World. But I mean, hey, I highly recommend this game, guys. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I think it's a fantastic demo here. You learn a lot of stuff here, some interesting mini games here and there if you have compatible hardware. If you don't, then I mean, it might not be the greatest thing, especially if you are more interested in the mini games. But if you guys are more interested in actually learning about the Nintendo Switch 2 and how it works and how Nintendo went ahead and they planned some stuff, I would 100% recommend this game, guys. I had a blast with this game. You can spend easily like around 7 hours, maybe, like just looking at all the different items and stuff like that. This game is pretty long as well, and for about 7 hours, $10, and then, you know, I didn't even play many of the mini games as well. So if you're playing the mini games and, you know, doing all the other quests and stuff like that, you'll be spending even more time than me. So this game is 100% worth it, guys. I would definitely say that this is an absolute steal for the amount of content that you get. It's only $10. You learn a lot of information. So yeah, guys, what do you guys think about Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour? Do you guys love it? Do you guys hate it? Please let me know down in the comments down below, guys. And thank you so much for watching, guys. And stay subscribed for some more Switch 2 content. Alrighty, guys, it's going to be it for me for now. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Until next time, have a good one. Peace.